Hello, in this video I'm going to explain to you about apostrophes of possession. It's important to look at this and also look at the video I've done on apostrophes of contraction or omission, because it's very easy to get these confused. And I'm going to write this in red at the bottom. You must also be careful about plurals, because if I could count or got a pound for every single time somebody got apostrophes of possession confused with plurals, I would be a millionaire. Plurals, of course, means more than one. Anyway, let's get back to this. Apostrophes of possession means using an apostrophe, which we know looks like this, an upside down or inverted comma, to show that something belongs to someone or something. And that's what the possession means, to possess something. Belongs. I don't tend to say something like, oh, I possess this watch. I say this watch belongs to me. So I would write here, and the way I do it is I write Mr. Hone, because that's my name when I'm teaching. And now I'm going to put my apostrophe in and put my S afterwards. Mr. Hone's watch. And what that is saying is that the watch belongs to me. So whatever it is that you have or you own or belongs always goes afterwards. Mr. Hone's watch. And be really careful about where you put the apostrophe and the S. I'm just going to do a load of examples, I think, and hope that it becomes clearer. So let's have a look at this. Let's do some names. So David's put my apostrophe S. David's football. It's his football. It's nobody else's. And I could also use, it doesn't have to be, it's often for someone, but it could also be something. So for example, let's have a look, let's have a think. I could do the table's legs. It's not a great example, but it will do. So let's do the table's apostrophe S legs, because the legs of the table, they belong to the table. They are the legs of the table. This is quite interesting, because here, that S here is telling me that there is more than one leg, which is the plurals, whereas this apostrophe S is telling me that the legs belong to the table. And that's why these things are so easy to get confused. And the more you go into this, the more things that come up. So for example, here I've only got, there's only one Mr. Hone, there's only one David, there is only one table. Look at these two sentences here. So this is going to be very similar. So if I write the dogs, here we go, the dog's bone, that there is one dog. Okay, because I've just got D-O-G. Now imagine you had a whole group of dogs and they all had one bone. Here you would put the dogs, because that's plural. So let's underline that and just make sure we know that there are two or more dogs. Here I need to put the apostrophe after the S. Now, some people just leave it like that and put the dogs and put the apostrophe after the S. Oh dear. Some people put an extra S after. You can do either. I tend to leave it like that. So this is different because it means that there is more than one dog. So be really careful about that, because it sounds the same, the dog's bone, but here there's one dog, the dog's bone. In this example, there are two or more dogs all sharing a bone. And you do need to be careful with it. Again, if the person or thing that is actually owning something ends in an S, then you've also got to put the apostrophe afterwards. So for example, now James, that ends in S already. So if I want to put James's pencil, I just put the apostrophe after James. I'm going to use my green pen here. It's like I'm juggling pens. And I'm going to put an optional S here. Okay, you don't have to put that extra S in. You can just leave it. And the final thing I need to explain on this before we're done, and do go back and have a look at this again if there's any part of it that's confused you, is this is its. So let's have a look at its. I need to think of an object. So well, we'll go back to this one. So the table's legs. Now, if I'm going to replace table with a pronoun it, it's really, really important that we just say its legs. Okay, there is no apostrophe when you're using its for its legs, or if I was talking about a country and talking about its economy. Because of course, if I use an apostrophe with it, I get it apostrophe S, which that means it is, which is a contraction. So be quite careful. I'm going to put a red warning circle around this one, because this is also possession. Here we go, with all those S's in it. Possession, but no apostrophe. Oh, not enough space. Okay, so the complexities of the English language. So just to recap on this, apostrophes for possession, using an apostrophe to show that something belongs to someone or somebody. If it's something that's singular, like one Mr. Hone or one David or one table, stick the apostrophe after the word and put an S in, and then whatever comes afterwards belongs to it. If it's a plural, so for example this one, there's more than one dog, several dogs, then you put the apostrophe after the S, and it's up to you whether you put another S. If you're using the pronoun its, then you don't put an apostrophe in at all. Have a look at this. Don't worry if you get errors. I constantly see mistakes in this. Just be careful, look over your work and check you've put apostrophes in the right place. Right, good luck with that and all the best.